Okay, so we're continuing on our complementary trees. So you've already done the black paper where we took the cardboard pieces and made some little like stripes across it to give it some texture for the tree. You're gonna need this back, and then you're gonna get your paper that looks like this. These are all gonna be dry and ready. And then you're gonna need chalk pastels, you're gonna need glue, scissors, and one of these glue sticks, okay? I also like to have a paper towel nearby because when you're gluing, your fingers get messy, so it's kind of nice to have, okay? So let's just review our complementary colors. So last week when I was in, I chose the color red, and then I used white as my tint, okay? So I have all sorts of shades of red, or tints of red and white. Then today I'm going to color the background. So I have to look at red, and I'm going to choose green. I really don't get to choose, but I'm choosing green because it's across the way from red. It's red's complement. So if you used red, you're going to use green to color the background, okay? Just like this student used yellow. This is supposed to be yellow, I know. And then they're going to color the background violet, or this one used orange, and they color the background blue, okay? Or it could be just the opposite. Maybe the trees are blue and the background's orange. So we're not looking for like a realistic tree, okay? We're gonna get these trees glued today. Then we're gonna take our background color and with the chalk pastel, and then we're gonna even create little shadows with that, okay? So I'm hoping to get done today. We may need a little time next week, and that's totally fine. So, got one here started for us. Sorry, it's on my big paper. So you'll notice that my tree didn't go all the way to the bottom, okay? You could have it all the way up here, anywhere in this range, okay? As long as it's not above, because it's not a floating tree. And then you can see how I have different branches there. So I'm gonna show you how to do this on the light one. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my paper. I'm gonna turn this backwards, upside down, and I'm gonna cut out, well, that was probably not wise. I'm gonna do it this way. So I'm drawing, kind of cutting the tree base. So I've got it wide, and then it gets narrow the higher it goes. So then I can get another one here, my tree base, okay? Then I can kind of cut off pieces down here, okay, for some branches, okay? So you're getting the idea. I'm gonna cut out all kind of triangular shapes, okay? You don't have to cut them all out. I just kind of do one tree at a time. So I'm gonna do this middle one here. So first of all, I'm gonna look at this first tree, and you can see where that bottom one starts. I'm going to make this one a little straighter and shorter. So it's actually, you know what? I might have it look like, no, I'm gonna have it on this hill. If I wanted it to be on this hill here, I could just cut it off a little bit more on this darker one, but I'm gonna have it down here. So I'm gonna start with this one, with the glue. You know, remember, you're not trying to scoop it out with a ton of glue. You just need a little bit of glue, and you just kind of put enough on that it covers it. So sometimes at the end, I kind of pick it up like that. Then I'm gonna place this. Here's my base of my tree, and then the tree branches go up this way, okay? So I've got my tree started. Then I'm gonna use this one. I don't need it that long, so I can just have another branch. Maybe my other branch is coming out this way. So I just dip my stick in there, put a little bit of glue on there, and then I can have another one here. I can overlap it. I can go underneath, however you want. Then I've got another one right here. Maybe that one's up there. Maybe that's a little too thick. So I can cut it in half. And then you can kind of put, oops, I just dribbled a little bit of glue there, but don't worry, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with that. And then I've got one here. So then I'm gonna have this one maybe up there. I'm gonna cut a little bit of this one off. So that glue that I dribbled, I don't have to wipe it off. It's perfectly good glue. I'm just gonna use that glue and go up here. And you see where my fingers kind of picked up on that? That's where that paper towel is really handy, because that paper towel will help clean off your hands. So I've got some branches going out this way. And then I can have, like this one has some smaller ones, so I can take some other little pieces here. And I can have a little branch coming off that way. Put a little bit of glue there. And you get the idea where I can keep adding more and more branches. So this one, I probably have one here, coming right up here, maybe one right there, maybe a big one here, okay? I don't want to take up too much time. I'll do that later on. When I'm finished, I always wipe this off here. And let's pretend for a moment I have this tree, and this tree done, okay? And then you're gonna get your chalk. So remember, my color was red, so I need to use green. So in this one, I have a couple shades of green. So I can use the dark green, light green, or maybe a combination of the greens. So these are chalk pastels. They are very fragile. So I like to use kind of the side of the chalk. And I'm gonna color along here. And I'm just gonna do a little section kind of so you can kind of see how this works. And then I can go in this section here. Okay, and I can take this and I go in there. If you've got like a tight space and you can't use the side, you can use the tip too. That's fine too. I just generally like that. I could be like, okay, I like that green, but I'm gonna use some of this lighter green in there. And I would do this over the whole thing. I'm just showing you this little section here. And then you can use your finger to smudge, or if that is too messy for you, you can take a paper towel and kind of wrap it with your finger. And that works great too. Now what I want you to notice is, I'm not going like this. I'm gonna mess up all my beautiful work. So I'm kind of going slow around the edge, and then I'm smudging that green on here, and then I'm kind of blending in the middle. And just like we painted, you can go slower around the outside and then, you know, speed it up when you're shading or blending the inside. And what this is gonna do is any little white spaces, like right in here, that I didn't cover with my chalk, I'm now covering it with this. And I'm just smudging a little bit at a time. Like I said, this is not the time that you want to rush. The worst thing would be is you took all this work painting and then you rush through it and you get chalk everywhere, okay? So I've done that. If you get too much, you just can kind of tap it, and then the extra pieces, you can even see it on the counter, will kind of go down onto your table or over the trash can. So I added the trunks, I colored the background, and I would do this over the whole thing. I'm just showing you a small little area. And then the last thing is the shadow. So this is where your light source will be, and then the shadow is on the opposite. So let's say my light's coming over here. So that means my tree is gonna have the shadow kind of going off this direction. So I'm gonna take the bottom of my trunk, and this time I'm not using the side, I'm using the end here. And I'm just drawing little line off to the side there. I'm gonna do the same kind of thing here from the base. Hopefully you can see that. And then shading that in. And I can use my finger or the paper towel to smudge that just like I did on the other part to make it look softer. And then that's what you're going to have. So you can see these final examples. They have the trees done, they have the background shaded, and they all have shadows. And this one's going, the light source right over here, so the shadows are going that way. Okay, and once you're finished with it, you can take it home. If it's wet, you can leave it here, and I can deliver it to your class tomorrow or next week, whichever works out. So that's what we're gonna be working on today. So whatever your color is, the first thing you're gonna do is figure out what the opposite is, which is called the complement, and that will be the color of chalk you're gonna do. And then you'll chalk that, and then you can use this to kind of wrap your finger or just smudge it with your finger. Notice I didn't do this sort of thing. I just kind of went around the edge first and then inside. And then when you're finished, you can put it on the drying rack or take it home.